What's going on, boys? In this video, I want to show you guys the photo that gets me over 100 matches per month on dating apps, which is this photo right here on the right. This photo gets me the majority of my matches, right? Whenever a woman messages me first, whenever they swipe up, send me a message on one of my photos, it's always this one, right? Even the woman that I go out with, right? This photo alone got me laid more times than I can count. And I always ask the girls, which photo on my apps was the one that really did it for you? Which one made you reach out to me? Which one made you go out with me? And they always say that it's this photo right here. And as you guys can see, like, they're always messaging me, always making like these types of comments, right? Very direct, very bold comments, right? Shorty said, "You're looking like a sexy beast of a man. I'm not sure I'll be your type." Right? Always complimenting me, complimenting my hair, called me Tarzan, right? And I want to show you guys exactly what makes this photo so good so that you can just copy me and that you can also get 30 plus matches per week and have attractive women reaching out to you first every single week. Now, obviously, at the first look of this photo, you can tell it's a great looking photo. Now, quick backstory about how this photo was taken. This photo was not planned. I know it looks professional, but it wasn't planned at all. I was on vacation in Mexico. I was swimming in this pool right here. And I was just swimming. I was actually with my brother. And if you ever been to like a resort in the Dominican or in Mexico, right? Any of these resorts, you know that they usually walk around, like photographers would walk around the resort with animals, usually monkeys or parrots, right? And they would ask you if you want a picture with them. So they was walking around with the parrots and they asked me, "Hey, do you want a photo?" Now, mind you, I'm in the pool. They come up to me, they're like, "You want a picture with the parrots?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I literally just got out the pool, right? And they snapped this photo of me and it just came out perfect, right? It came out blessed, right? That's why the quality is so good. That's why my hair is wet, because I literally just got out the pool, right? So this photo was literally taken by accident, but there's so many nuances to this photo that actually make it so good and make it so that women constantly reach out to me and constantly want to match with me on the apps. So let's break down the actual signs of what makes this photo look so good. So first up is just going to be sex appeal, right? Which is one of the most important. I got the long wet hair going on, right? Just got out the pool. Water droplets literally on my body, right? The female gaze physique, okay? I'm not looking big and swole like a bodybuilder, but I'm looking like I'm in great shape, right? I still have a V-taper, I have visible abs, I have muscle mass, right? And even though the lighting wasn't perfect to really highlight my physique, it did its job, right? It did its job. Like, in fact, I was actually more cut than it looks like in this photo, but it did its job, right? It highlighted my physique in the right way. The was great. So, and then the masculine expression. Okay, I wasn't cheesing. I was just looking directly at the camera. You know, eyes a little bit squinted, right? Just this like very slight smirk on my face that you can see, and this just woman sees that. I'm looking straight at her face. I got water droplets all over my body. I'm looking like Tarzan or Aquaman just got out the water, right? And let's not even get started on the parrots. Sex appeal is by far one of the biggest reasons why this photo did so good, right? I'm not trying hard. I'm not flexing, right? A lot of you guys, you have nice physiques and you take photos flexing or you're shirtless in like inappropriate places where you really shouldn't be shirtless. Like you would take a photo at a rooftop bar shirtless, right? It doesn't make sense. This makes sense, okay? I'm shirtless, I'm at the pool, and I'm on vacation, right? Everything makes sense. Next one, next reason why this photo did so good is the high value location, right? It's got this tropical setting, which indicates travel. And if you know anything about what women like, they love to travel, right? This photo, I'm clearly on vacation. I'm clearly traveling somewhere. Like, this is not New York City, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, okay, this guy, he lives a fun lifestyle. He likes to travel. This makes her interested even more, right? And now, mind you, everything that I break down about this photo, women analyze this photo within 2 seconds. Within 2 seconds, they recognize all of these features, right? It's not something that they just like stare at the photo and they think about. This comes to them subconsciously, right? These are what I call attraction triggers. And I'll break down exactly what attraction triggers you want to have in your photo to make it do so good. So the third reason why this photo does so good is once again the lifestyle, right? Shows that I'm on vacation, shows that I'm traveling, right? This shows off that, hey, I may have some money, right? Traveling isn't cheap, right? You need to have money to travel. And it's not me, flashing my money, but it shows off that, hey, I may have some money, I'm able to travel, I'm able to have a good life. And then on top of that, it's a great quality, right? Like I mentioned, it was photographers that took this photo. So they took it on a DSLR camera, right? And this photo literally looks like it could be on a magazine cover. That's why it's so special, right? Can't tell you how many girls have swiped up. They thought this photo was AI. They thought that I'm some sort of model on GQ, right? Or for Vogue. But I'm none of those things, right? It's not AI and it's not propped. It's not staged. It's just a really good photo. And everything comes together, right? The physique, the sex appeal, the background, the parrots, right? People thought I was using parrots for props. I wasn't. It was just, I was literally at the resort and this is how it came out. It's funny because I actually did like this little filter where you could add the Vogue title to your photos and it looked like straight up out of a magazine cover. The most important reason why this photo does so good and why it has women constantly reach out to me, constantly match with me on dating apps is it hits her primal desire, right? You always want to have a photo that hits their primal desire. Primal desire is just her biological nature, right? What she's actually hardwired to be attracted to. This photo, it shows off like a wild man, right? I got the long hair, it's loose, it's wet. I got the nice physique. Look, it's looking sexy, it's looking seductive, the look that I'm giving, and it's looking animalistic, right? I got the parrots on me, just chilling. This automatically, subconsciously triggers her primal desire, her animalistic nature. You understand? We all have some sort of animalistic nature within us, right? And most of the time, it's only the only time we actually sense this animalistic nature, the only time we get to see it, is when we're in the bedroom or when we fight, right? That's the only time we really act like animals, okay? Now, in this case, it reminds her of when she's in the bedroom, when she gets to just let loose and be who she really is, right? That's what the primal desire is all about. And that's why I get messages like this. Shorty said, "You're like a sexy beast of a man." Another one said, she asked me for my number and then she was like, "So you can whisper sexy animal sounds in my ear late night." Like, this is what's going on in their head, right? They see this photo and they're like, wow, my pussy just got wet. That's what they think. They literally get wet by looking at this. You know what I'm saying? Because it reminds them of how they feel in the bedroom when they're actually satisfied. So that's why this photo is so good. Now, how do you actually create your own version? Let's get right into it. First thing, you need to understand what every good photo actually has, which are what I call attraction triggers, right? There's a few attraction triggers that every photo has, right? Now, you don't need to have all of these triggers, but you should have the more the better. And for a photo like this, something I call the moneymaker, for a photo like this, you want to have ideally as much as possible, right? The more triggers that you can have with your moneymaker photo, the better it'll actually be, right? And this photo hits the majority of all these triggers, right? It's got a high value, interesting location. It doesn't have a nice outfit, but I'm shirtless and it's an appropriate setting, right? So it makes sense. Social proof, okay? I got someone else taking the photo of me. It's not a selfie. Masculine frame. My body language is confident, right? I got the fist up. I'm looking straight at the camera. I got a seductive look on my face. Masculine frame. Sex appeal. We just went over that, right? This photo is the definition of sex appeal. This photo doesn't really display status, but it is a great quality photo, and it makes women think that, hey, is this guy a model? And that signifies status as well, right? Financial security, but in a subtle way. So I'm not wearing anything expensive. The most thing that I'm wearing is jewelry, right? Which also adds to the sex appeal, right? But financial security because I'm traveling, right? I'm at an exotic location. This subtly hints at financial security, right? Lifestyle. I'm traveling, I'm having a good time. Good quality. Good quality in a photo is very important. You could have a photo that's taken on an old iPhone and a photo that's taken on a new iPhone or on a professional camera. Same photo, but just the quality will determine whether or not that girl is actually going to swipe on you, right? And then last but not least, the primal desire. Every moneymaker photo must have the primal desire. If you skip this part, it's just going to look like every other guy's photos, and it's not going to make you stand out. What makes this photo so good is that women do not see this photo, this type of photo, often, right? They swipe through hundreds of profiles every day. They swipe no, swipe no, swipe no. And then they come across a photo like this, and it instantly catches their eye. That's why the primal desire is so important. Now, your photo, when you make the moneymaker photo, it should communicate, number one, an interesting life, right? You want to show a little bit about your life or your lifestyle through your environment. So over here, I'm traveling, right? Shows that I like to travel. I have a nice physique. I like to, get in shape. This photo tells so many things about myself without having to do it, right? Without me having to say anything, right? It shows that I like to hit the gym. It shows that I like to take care of myself through the way my hair is, right? Through the way I'm groomed. It shows that I'm masculine through my body language. It shows that I like to travel, right? It's telling her a lot about me without me just directly showing it. You understand? Okay? Calm, masculine presence. I'm just looking chill, right? I'm not amped up. I just got this seductive look on my face, looking straight in the camera. That's what your photo must have. Then there's discipline and health. In this photo, I'm super lean, right? 12% body fat. I'm looking good. I'm groomed up. This signifies that I'm disciplined and that I'm healthy. Okay? It also shows that I have options and status. Just because this photo is so good, women instantly think that, okay, if I just saw this photo and it made me wet, what are other women thinking when they see this photo? What are they thinking? They're obviously thinking the same thing as me when they see this photo. And so this instantly tells her that you have options, because a guy with no options would not have a photo like this, right? And what's very important about this photo is it's just effortless, right? And it's because it literally was a makeshift photo. Like, I didn't plan this photo. It just happened out of nowhere. It was very spontaneous. And so I didn't pose on purpose. They told me to hold my hand up. But as you can see, I was literally like mid-pose and it came out perfect, right? Just super effortless, right? And then this photo tells a story that she wants to be a part of. Who's this Tarzan fit looking guy with the beard and the long hair, looking good? I want to know more about him, right? What does he do outside of this, right? What other pictures does he have, right? What does he do outside when he travels? Right? What other places has he been to? And so all of a sudden, she's just fantasizing and imagining all the things about me in her mind. And she wants to know if they're true, right? Now, your photo, when you make it, must communicate all of these things: the environment, the masculine frame, the body signaling, the options, the status, the effortless look, right? No over posing, no try hard pose. And most of all, it must tell a story that she wants to be a part of. Now, if you want to create a photo like this, right, you don't need parrots. You don't need to be in an exotic location. You don't need to have long hair. You don't need to have a beard. You don't need to be as handsome as me. But all of those things help, obviously. But you can create your own style of this photo, and that's what I want to help you guys do. So to create a photo like this, the first thing you want to do is to choose an archetype of a man that most aligns with who you are, and then fall into that archetype, right? Really go all into this character, that you want to be, right? So this could be a businessman, right? The professional, clean cut type of guy. This could be a playboy. This could be the hyper masculine guy that likes to go hunting, that likes to do, wild activities, that likes to, shoot guns and live that adventure lifestyle. This could be the masculine playboy, right? The one that's a combination of the hyper masculine and the playboy, right? The guy who he looks masculine, he has a great physique, right? He has the body features, but then he also looks like he can take care of himself, right? He's well groomed, he can dress nice. That's what the masculine playboy is. Then there's the pretty boy, right? I wouldn't recommend this one, but some guys they fall into the pretty boy category, right? And if you do, then really amplify that as much as possible in your photos. And then this one was just an example of the wild one, right? Who is this guy with the long hair looking like Tarzan, right? With a nice physique, female gaze physique. Like, it just looks wild, right? And this really puts her in her primal nature. You can combine these archetypes into one. Just figure out who you are, what your characteristics resemble the most, and then lean into that with your photo. That's how you actually tell a story, right? Number two is you want to choose an outfit that actually matches the archetype that you have. So if you're a businessman, if you're going for that type of character look in your photo, then you want to wear a nice suit, right? If you're going for the hyper masculine, you could do like just a regular black tee with some cargo pants, right? Like some sort of tactical fit, right? If you're going for the masculine playboy, you could do it like a nice dress shirt that's well fitted, hugs your muscles, right? I have pictures like all of those that I just mentioned, right? If you're going for the wild one, then you could just go shirtless if the setting is appropriate, right? If you're at the beach, if you're at the pool, right? If you're at some sort of location where it's okay to be shirtless, then yeah, go shirtless, right? Even better, right? Then get someone to take the photo for you. Obviously, you should know this by now. No selfies, right? No mirror selfies. Those have a time and place, but not for your moneymaker photo. Your moneymaker photo needs to be someone taking it of you, right? This lets people know that, hey, you have friends, you got someone taking the photo of you, and it's gonna improve the quality, right? So ideally, you want to have a professional camera photo. Like, this isn't a requirement. You can get nice photos on the iPhone, but for this moneymaker, it just needs to be so good that like it just hits all the boxes, So if you could do a professional photo shoot, if your boy has a professional camera, 100% go for that for this type of photo, right? And then shoot in natural light. You don't really want to have stage lights. You don't want this moneymaker photo to look staged. That's the whole point. The whole point of the moneymaker photo is to have as many attraction triggers as possible while still looking as natural and effortless as possible, which is what this photo did, right? Someone could have staged this photo with artificial lights, with like probably fake parrots or something like that, and it just wouldn't give off the same energy, right? Like even my posing, like it was mid pose, I look natural, right? Avoid over posing. Okay, you don't have to like, if you don't look like a model, if you're not that confident on camera, you don't have to pretend to be a model, right? Just be natural, be masculine and be natural. That's important. Now, here's some examples for you guys of moneymaker photo styles that you can replicate, right? It doesn't have to be, once again, with parrots. It doesn't have to be in the pool, right? You don't have to have long hair. You can create your own style of that photo in your own way, whichever way that you lean into the most. So first one right here, this is a pretty basic one. This is with an iPhone, but he's at like some sort of exotic location. He's got the sex appeal going on with the linen shirt, with the physique, with the chest showing. He's got the jewelry, the outfit matches, his beard is nice and groomed up. This is something that I would say like it's kind of like the masculine pretty boy aesthetic, right? That's what he's falling into. So once again, this hits multiple attraction triggers. Clean cut, masculine expression, right? Masculine frame, sex appeal with the way he's dressing, with the jewelry, right? High value, interesting location, right? Natural light, looks natural, right? That's why this photo is so good. This photo is an absolute great one. He's in a suit, right? Looks like straight out of a magazine. I'm pretty sure this was for a magazine. All right, this is Michelle Marone. And, he's got this, once again, this masculine expression on his face, looking directly into the camera, natural posing, right? Not looking too try hard. Fits nice, right? He's not shirtless, but he's looking classy. This is more of like the businessman aesthetic, right? That you want to go for. So he's clean cut, got the nice shoes on, right? Well groomed, he got the fancy car, and then once again, the location is fire and it's a professional photo, right? This is why this is a moneymaker style photo. This one is this one is similar to the one I have, where this guy is just in the beach, right? He's just in the ocean, but he's jacked, right? He's got the V-taper female gaze physique. He's looking directly at the camera, got the wet hair going on, right? He's literally like covered in water. Guys, when women see that on a subconscious level, it hits them different, right? They see that you're wet, and guess what that makes them? Wet, right? It makes them wet, okay? This is just does all of these things subconsciously, right? And that's what you got to think about. This just gives off like that wild side once again, right? He doesn't have any animals, but he looks like he's like Poseidon coming out of ocean right now, right? So figure out whatever archetype of a man that you lean into the most and really try to exaggerate it and create a story with that moneymaker photo. Now, a couple things that you want to ask yourself before actually uploading the photo is, number one, would this stop her scrolling, right? Does this photo instantly catch a woman's eye? The photo that I had, instantly, the first thing they see, like, it just jumps right at them. There's so much going on, and it's such a good photo that it instantly catches their eye. They have no choice but to observe it, but to keep looking, and it makes them want to keep going through my profile. So ask yourself, would this stop a scroll, or does it look like every other guy's photos, right? Number two, by looking at this photo, would she assume that I have options, right? Is this photo so good that it makes it look like I get women, right? Because my photo, I've literally had women tell me that, oh, when I saw that photo, I just knew that you were a player, right? That's what you want her to think. You want her to think that you're a player just by how good that photo actually is, just by how good you look in that photo, right? So that's number two. Number three is, would she feel curious and slightly intimidated, right? Once again, your photo should tell a story about you, right? A story that she's curious about. She wants to know more about you. Who's this guy in the suit with the nice car and like the mansion in the background, just looking casual, looks like he's fresh off a GQ magazine, right? But then it should also make her slightly intimidated, where you have this masculine frame going on, right? You're looking at her in a seductive way through the photo. She should feel slightly intimidated. Women are always attracted to the guys that they are actually intimidated by the most, right? So she should feel curious and intimidated. And then last, but certainly not least, does this photo look like it can be on a magazine cover? That's the final question. Like, my photo passes all of these tests, right? It looks like it could be on a magazine cover, it stops the scroll, it looks like I have options, makes her intimidated, makes her curious, all of these things, right? If your photo doesn't look like it could be on a magazine cover, it looks like it could just be on an Instagram story, then it's not good enough, right? It may be a good photo for your dating profile, but it's not going to be the moneymaker photo that gets you hundreds of matches per month from one photo alone, right? That gets you being with over 50 women from one photo alone, right? So even the photos I showed you, these all look like they can't be on a magazine cover, right? This one's a little more casual, I would say, but it can be recreated in a little better way if it was a little more professional. Hope this video was helpful to actually help you create your moneymaker photo so you can have hundreds of matches coming in every single month, literally like 30 to 50 matches per week, right? Sometimes I get 50 matches per week just from one app alone, just because of that photo, right? If you guys want specific help, my help with this to create a dating app profile that instantly makes the woman attracted, makes the woman curious about who you are, right? Makes them reach out to you first. Who's high quality, attractive woman that you're actually interested in dating and seeing, then just hit that link in the description to book a one-on-one coaching call with me. This is what I help my clients with. Not only do I help them with their dating app photos, help them set up the entire profile in a way that attracts women the best, gets them endless matches, literally makes their dating life on autopilot. But if there are certain things within the guy's physique, within the guy's appearance that he needs help with, for example, if you need help getting in better shape for the photos, if you need help with your diet, all of this is included in my coaching program. I help guys with their physique, get them in the best shape of their life, and then I help them present this man that they've created in an attractive way online and in person in a way that literally makes dating effortless, right? So if you're a guy who, you've been putting in the work, you have a good job, and you just seem to still be stuck. You're still not getting the matches you want. You're still not attracting the woman that you want. It could just be the way that you're presenting it. So this is exactly what I help guys with in my coaching program. Once again, if you're interested, just click that top link. The call is free. It's just to find out a little bit more about your situation and to let you know exactly what I do inside my program and if it can actually help you. So if this interests you, click that link. I hope to see you soon. Make sure to like, subscribe if you found this video valuable. See you boys in the next one. Stay dangerous.